up, everyone? In November 2020, I was on a call with my coworker of mine when I was still working investment banking. And I remember him saying on the call, being like, you know, Andrew, since we're working 8 hours a week, what if we just put 8 hours a week into something like dropshipping or something? I'm pretty sure we can still make like 6 figures like that. And that really stuck with me because at that point, I was like, what is dropshipping? I never heard this thing before. And afterwards, I remember I went home and I watched like this hour-long course on dropshipping. I was like, wow, this sounds pretty interesting. It's e-commerce, you know, you ship things to customers, you sell things, and you make money like that. I should probably look into this. And as the story goes, in January 2021, I left my job basically 2 months later after that conversation. There's many other reasons why I left the job, but I basically left my job to become an entrepreneur, right? And at that point, I wouldn't say I quit my job to do dropshipping, but I knew I wanted to quit my job to become a content creator and also to start a business. But I ended up pursuing dropshipping just because at that point, it was the thing that I knew. And I also knew that it was a business that had a low barrier to entry. So I was like, sure, why not just give it a shot? You know, I can run this business, see how it works out. Doesn't work, I can go try to do something else afterwards. So in this video, I want to discuss how even though I made around $200,000 in revenue with dropshipping, I actually ended up losing money. You know, I'm going to run over the financials of winning products I sold, and I'll also be talking about what I liked and what I didn't like about dropshipping. So buckle up because there's a lot to talk about in this video. For quick starters, if you guys are unfamiliar with dropshipping, it's basically a very broad term, but generally when the online community on YouTube or TikTok refers to dropshipping, it basically just means you sell products through an online store and you run ads on social media, and then you don't hold the inventory for the product you're selling, but you fulfill it directly from a manufacturer, usually based in China. And then the manufacturer directly ship the products over to your customer. So you never touch the product itself. And the reason why it's one of the most popular online business is because it's just super easy to get into because you barely have any startup costs except for, you know, paying subscription fees to Shopify and running apps, and also the marketing budget you're gonna be running on marketing, which to be honest, you don't even need to spend marketing budgets if you're good on TikTok and create good TikTok content, build up like an organic brand that way. With that being said, I got into dropshipping around April 2021. I remember buying a course from this YouTube channel called Verum Econ for about $100. And afterwards, I just started testing out a bunch of different products to see what will sell on my Shopify store. And testing product just basically means that you run ads for a product and try to make sales with it. For the first couple months, basically nothing sold. I didn't find any products that sell particularly well. And in around July, I decided to get a mentor. I basically found a guy on YouTube and paid him like $1,500 for a month of mentorship. And overall, it wasn't really the greatest mentorship just because I think at that point, the guy was still learning how to even do dropshipping himself. He was also much younger than me. He was like 19-year-old at that time. So I think he was also learning just how to be like a mentor overall. So eventually we parted ways, and it wasn't really anything personal. It's just like I decided that I wasn't getting a good ROI for that mentorship. Then I went on my own again for a couple months before I found a second mentor actually in September, who actually found me through my TikTok content. He was a follower of mine and he actually sent me a DM on TikTok being like, hey, I do dropshipping e-commerce. If you're interested, let's chat a little more. And I chatted with him, and then we decided that like, hey, we should probably work together. And I began working with him for about like $250 to $300 per session, which each session lasting anywhere from like 1 to 2 hours. And I actually ended up working with him for like pretty much like the next year afterwards. And to this day, we're still in contact, and I would actually call him like more of a friend of mine nowadays than like a mentor itself. So, you know, that's another thing about mentorship, right? You can end up just making friends in the space as well. Anyways, the first product that I found that actually ended up selling pretty well was actually like a week or 2 weeks into like my second mentor, in which I stumbled across this product right here, which is like it's like a kitchen chopper that helps you like slice vegetables and fruits like a lot faster. I'll probably put up like a video of like how this works and stuff on the screen. But basically, I ran ads through Facebook to this product to my janky ass website, and in a span of 2-3 months, I made about $90,000 from just running this product on Facebook. So scaled to like pretty high numbers, but I only profited about like $3,000 just because like most of the time I didn't even know what I was doing on Facebook ads. I was running a bunch of ads and like not turning off the campaigns I probably should have been turning off. So a lot of money was just wasted on not knowing what I was doing. And also the product had like very thin margins. I only had like a 2x margin on this product, so I wasn't really making that much profit per sale if you market in like the cost of acquisitions per customer with Facebook. But it was my first taste of success with dropshipping. And what was actually funny, and this is going to be a recurring theme throughout this video, was that I actually hated it, since I felt like, you know, if I can show you guys very quick what I mean, this was the product I was selling. Excuse me for the crotch shot right here. This is the OnlyFans angle. But basically, if you look at this, just listen to how it sounds. It didn't work. It didn't work. It did not work at all. So what ended up happening was the product I was selling, there was two versions of the product. There was one of them that actually worked, like the proper version of it. And there's a second version that was kind of like this cheap Chinese version of it that I ended up selling. So the entire time I was selling this product, I just felt like I was scamming my customer because I was literally sending them a piece of crap that didn't even work. And the question is like, well, why didn't you send them like the better one, like the more high quality one? Well, the more high quality one costs more money to source. And when the math worked out, I would have never made a profit if I sold like the higher quality product at all. So even though I made like $90,000 in sales and like profited a little bit from this product, I was constantly stuck in a loop where I was making money again, not that much, but I hated the money I was making. Because like I just felt like I was like sending a piece of crap to my customer I was just scamming them. I remember the days that I make the most money was the days I felt the worst, because I knew that it was just that many more people that were being essentially scammed by me. So it's a very conflicting feeling, you know, making money versus morals. I remember I hated checking customer support emails because even though like on TikTok, you know, people will give you hate and be like, oh, this is wrong, like you're giving out the wrong career tips. But I'm like, all right, shut the fuck up. You're wrong. Okay, you don't know what you're talking about. But in this case, I knew they were right. Like this is not a good. Like, this is not a good product. I knew they were right about like everything. Like when they're bitching at me going like, you're scamming me, this product doesn't even work, I want my money back. I'm like, yeah, you're right, but refund you, I'm just going to keep losing money and I'm really like not that profitable. And I don't know, it was a very conflicting feeling overall. And I think overall this is kind of where the downhill began in my passion and just faith in this business model. But I want to keep on going because I want to see if I can get my hands on like a higher quality product, right? Because idea was that like, well, the reason I didn't like this product because it was kind of a shitty product. So if I can just find a different product that was higher quality, then it should solve all my problems. So what actually ended up happening is towards the end of the year, my Facebook account got banned because I was basically selling a scammy product and Facebook found out, so they banned me. So I ended up taking a break for a couple months in the end of the year. So I sold a product from like September to roughly November-ish time frame. And so I took a break from December to January to just kind of recruit myself over the holiday seasons. And around January of 2022, I got back into dropshipping. I was actually able to find my second winning product pretty quickly. And it was basically this thing right here. It was like a bathroom suction handle in which I basically target like the elder audience or like caregivers, in which like, you know, it's a good thing to help like, so I guess like you can say support themselves in the bathroom when they're trying to get out the shower or something. I can quickly demonstrate here. So you can see, you basically like clip these two things down and then it works pretty well. It works pretty well. I will say it works pretty well. Now, overall, this product wasn't horrible. It still felt cheaply made, but it actually did what it claimed to do. So I was like more okay with selling it because of that reason. But unfortunately, this product just never really took off. And I wasn't really able to find a way to make good money of it. And overall, with this product, I made around $33,000 in a span of like, I think like February to April-ish. And then I actually lost $300 on this product. So I guess some will say like I broke even with it. So it was around April 2022 at this point after I stopped selling the bathroom handle. And I really want to start taking this business model seriously just because I've been doing it for a year now. And I was like, great, if I want to really build up like a legitimate e-commerce brand, I need to really invest time into finding like high quality evergreen products and really take the time to build out like a legitimate e-commerce brand, right? So I did exactly that. I began only testing very high quality products that I thought were high quality, and I spent a lot of times building out like very nice landing pages, very nice websites, and very nice advertisements as well, because I wanted to start making things more legit. I was like, I have a good understanding of the basics. I know what can make money. I know how to make money. I know how to market and sell a product. I want to start fine tuning my knowledge into something that is more rare, I guess, resembles like a real legitimate like e-commerce brand. And after a couple of failed test products later, I'm summarizing here again, I came across another product that ended up selling pretty well, which was this head massager right here, which to this day, I still think is a really amazing product. Look, it's supposed to like massage your head and stuff. Pretty nice. Overall, it was a super high quality product and it worked exactly how it should work, which may sound kind of like no brainer to a lot of you guys out there, but trust me, when you do dropshipping, there's a lot of these like winning like products that sell very well that just don't work at all and basically just disintegrates the moment the customer touches it. But unfortunately, overall, the product didn't end up selling too well. Like, I invested a lot of time and effort into building out like good advertisements, good website, good everything for this product. I even had like, I even upsold a couple products because like, I was selling this as kind of like a way to mediate hair loss, like giving a scalp massage helps with like hair loss, which is like a true thing. So I was also selling like hair loss serums, oils and stuff. But the product never selling too well. And, I was also like very emotionally attached to the product. I was really trying to make it work. But eventually I had to call it quits just because I was losing so much money. Like, for reference, I made about like $10,000 with this product in revenue, but I lost $3,500 with this product. Like, I was just losing money left and right with this one, all right? All right. So I think at this point, it was like July of 2022, and I was just like super burnt out. Like I literally hated doing e-commerce at this point. I was like, I don't even want to think about this. I feel like I was just scamming people. I think I was mostly burnt out just because like, I felt like a lot of the products I was selling were just over-marketed, overpriced, and under-delivered when they finally arrived in the customer's hands. Like at this point, my standards had dropped so low to the point that as long as the product does what it claims to do to some extent, I was okay with selling it. For example, like this shower handle, right? But in reality, I realized that I just wasn't really proud of anything I was selling, and any of the good quality products that I tried to sell never sold well, while the ones that sold well were usually like, the crappy ones. So I was constantly stuck in a loop of like making money versus morals, I guess you can say. And I basically felt ashamed of running a dropshipping business. And it was never something I was proud to show my friends or family. And I think that was one of the telltale signs of like why I should have been quitting this already. Because whenever a friend of mine or family member might be like, oh, let me support your business, let me buy your product, I'll be like, no, do not buy this product, okay? It's a piece of crap. Or if they ask me like something that's like more higher quality, I'd be like, dude, just get on Amazon for like half the price. Like you don't need to buy from me. Also, I guess the second point is I also started to realize that I didn't even care about building an e-commerce brand. I think I wanted to say more that I wanted to have built an e-commerce brand than to actually build it. And there's like a difference between the two. And I think the big reason is because my hope was to have a successful e-commerce brand, sell it, and then basically talk about this YouTube channel and like inspire some of you guys out there, be like, yeah, you guys should like quit your job and like build e-commerce brand and like, be your own boss, right? That was kind of like my dream, and my only purpose of really like trying to do e-commerce was to like have that story to like tell you guys to hopefully inspire some of you guys out there to do the same. But my goal is never to build e-commerce business. I could probably give less a shit about it. And this is bad because in my darkest days, it was very hard to push forward because I just really hated the day-to-day of building these businesses and these brands. And on top of that, like I said before, I was kind of just ashamed of what I was doing because I felt like 90% of the time I was just scamming my customers. So around July at this point, I was pretty much done with ecom. I kind of already lost all hope, and my content was doing pretty well, and I actually ended up start working with a startup company at this point to help them build out like their social media brand. The company's called Jenny.ai, and I saw a lot of success doing that, and actually had a lot of fun doing it because like it was content creation, it was like my strength, it was building like its technology AI company, which is kind of like my background in tech. So it was kind of combining like my knowledge and kind of like my interests together into a skill set, into a job that like number one paid me pretty decently, and also like I felt like I was creating value, right? I was like, wow, I'm actually getting customers for this company. So it felt very good to do. But I remember then the entire time, I just couldn't get over the fact that I felt like I was quitting something, And I think this just comes from me like not wanting to be a quitter. And I feel like I quit many things in the past or something. And it just like, I couldn't get over the fact that I'm like, you quit at ecom. You couldn't make this thing work, but you're just a quitter. So I was like, screw it. I'm going to return to ecom one last time. I'm going to give it one last shot to see how I truly feel about it. If it still doesn't work at this point, then I'm just going to leave the business. I'm just not going to touch it again. So from July to September, I worked on the startup with like their content. In September, I left the company and I got back into e-commerce again. And once again, I actually found a winning product pretty quickly when I got back into it. And basically, I was selling this phone case right here. This phone case. And in the past, I mostly ran my ads on Facebook, but this was the first time I actually ran my ads on TikTok, which I probably should have been doing a long time ago because like TikTok is the platform I know very well. This ended up being like one of my most profitable products in like a month. Like at one point I made like 4K in profit in 1 month, but then I just ended up losing it like all the next months anyways. So So I think I overall with this product, I only ended up profiting $700. In my top month, I made $4,000 in September. Then I lost $1,000 in October. And in November, I lost $2,000. In December, I was just like, I need to cut this because I'm just losing money on this product now. So it's like, why are you losing money, right? Well, you lose money when your product starts selling well because a bunch of other dropshippers basically start stealing your idea, and then your cost of acquisition goes up. Less people buy from your stores, be it there's just a bunch of competitors out there selling the exact same thing. All right, so quitting e-com. So after this product started to die out, so did my urge to do e-commerce at this point. And just to get a little more serious at this point in the video, because I feel like I've been cracking jokes left and right. I was just really done with the overall business and industry. I basically hated every single moment of working on the business. I hated waking up every single day having to think about it. I hated having to find products. I hated making video ads for it. I hated customer support so much. Oh my God, that was the worst part. Just like listening to customers like complain about you, because not even like they're complaining, just because they're right. They're right. And I actually ended up like automating some of these tasks with like virtual assistants in the Philippines, but I still hated it. I just hated working and doing the business overall because I just never get over the mindset that I felt like I wasn't doing anything that was like, I was proud of. I felt like I was just selling cheap products online to people that didn't understand better that they can find, where the same products or better products out there. So overall, if I look at the numbers that I made $182,000 in revenue. My total profit and loss was negative $3,000. But guess what, guys? I didn't include some other numbers, right? I also paid over $8,500 to mentorships over the past 2 years. And I plan to make a video down the line about my thoughts about courses and mentorships. And also just like another $2,000 just extraneous costs, just like testing other stores and other products. So all in all, if you factor in everything together, I actually lost $12,000 in the past 2 years doing dropshipping. So overall, those are the numbers from a financial perspective. So in January 2023, I decided that I was going to quit the business for good and have not touched it since then. Now, I skipped over many details such as paying for our services, 50 to like 100 other products that I tested and failed, more Facebook bans, like buying agency accounts hit with like a lot of money. But overall, I'll say that's like a summary of my overall e-commerce journey. So overall, I think the conclusion and like my honest thoughts about dropshipping is I want to really emphasize that I do not think dropshipping is a scam. I'm just saying it can easily become one if done incorrectly. I think dropshipping is a great introduction to business. It teaches you a lot about just business, online marketing, and also the fulfillment side and product side of things. And you can definitely build a big legitimate brand by starting out by dropshipping, and many have done so in the past. And at the end of the day, dropshipping is just a business model that means that you don't have to hold inventory and ship directly from a manufacturer. And actually a lot of big brands use the dropshipping model, such as Wayfair. They don't hold the inventory. They just ship it directly from the manufacturers that make the furnitures on Wayfair. I really want to emphasize that I'm not here to hate on dropshipping, even though it sounds like I'm doing that a lot in this video. I'm just simply sharing my experience with the business and the way I did it in the past 2 years and like what my thoughts are about it. The question now is, and I always use this as a good gauge of like, do I actually recommend doing this, right? Because I use this gauge to talk about like my investment banking experience, right? Which is, would I do it again if provided the opportunity? And I think the honest answer is yes. Yes, I will do it again, just because of all the aforementioned reasons of like be a great introduction into like the business world. But I would have quit much sooner once I realized how much I hated doing it, right? Like probably like 6 months to like a year into it. I wish I would have just left it. But at that point, I wasn't sure if I actually hated what I was doing or if I was just a quitter. And it takes a lot of self-awareness to recognize between the two of them. So the question is, what am I up to doing right now, right? So right now, I'm very focused on building out my content brand in terms of like my TikTok and Instagram with Main Career. Also, I'm building out this YouTube channel with Main Duck, in which I'm just sharing like my lessons and learnings from like my journey in the past couple of years and going forward. I also run a social media agency in which I help tech startups launch brands on social media, like I did very similar to that startup I was working with last year. And even though like I wouldn't say that excites me to the core every single day doing it, I can confidently say it feels a million times better to work on every day, since it, number one, actually makes money, and number two, I actually feel like I'm adding value to stop shaking. And number two, I actually feel like I'm adding value to the people I'm selling to instead of just trying to trick them into buying like a crappy product. But overall, on this account, I talk about my journey from quitting investment banking to become a full-time entrepreneur and content creator. I also share my lessons and learnings that I developed along the way. So if that's something that sounds very interesting to you, be sure to follow along as I'll be making a lot more videos like these this year. Other than that, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I'll talk to you guys all very soon. Bye.